This is Mr. Impact Wrestling himself, Moose, and you're listening to the Irish Whip.
Hookers? Hookers and Coke?
Hookers and Coke, man.
You're the only pro wrestler I know that wants to do this shit in the morning.
Yeti, you're a f***ing moron.
Put it this way, I think Sami Callihan might as well just change his name to Invader
I
One.
want to know why. Like, he can dodge any question. Like, I'll tell anyone that. You can tell me but I'm going to ask specific questions.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all the rest of you yahoos who are out there dilly-dillying, you little wankers, we're actually receiving real wrestling news.
This is
Brett screwed Brett.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Brett screwed Brett.
Hold 2! Arm bar!
Hey, get a nice shot of the brand new Mr. and Mrs. Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate your hat. I hate your t-shirts. I hate your wristbands. I hate your shoes. I hate your music. I hate the C Nation. I hate everything that you stand for.
Sodas rule.
Yeah, they do.
You're lagging.
What is up, TIW Mafia? I hope I'm not lagging anymore, Josh. But we are here. We are live. There is somebody waiting to come onto the show. We haven't had an interview in a couple of months, probably. COVID is kind of grounded wrestling a little. But we haven't had a legend, like a true legend, in a long time, Josh. How are you feeling on this one? Are you excited? I'm pumped. And Josh is frozen. But listen, guys.
Here we go. Hey, look, JP. Look, everybody's together. Everybody's grooving. That's why we do this, right? That's why we do what we do.
What's up, Laurie? I didn't think we were going to see you guys today. I thought you guys were going to be out hunting with Santa Claus there.
No, I'm super excited, man. We got Vampiro, man. Can we, while we got everybody here, I'm going to take 2 seconds here. We're going to play while we got individuals here, and everybody's going to download this. Like, it's really important. This is about mental health. This is about Vampiro and like who he is as a man now. Like, this is live with Vampiro. So please, guys, check out this nail in the coffin, yes. The fall and rise of Vampiro.
Thanks for seeing me again.
Yeah, no problem. How many concussions you had?
I think 24.
How are you even walking?
When I started wrestling, I had a mission to become an iconic person in my industry.
Wrestling's your life, I know, I get it. But you gotta stop.
Where am I gonna go?
Get you out now, maybe your daughter has a dad to walk her down the aisle.
Yeah.
Ah, my little one, this is how it's done. You play your part, and I'll play mine.
He's never gonna stop being a wrestler, because that's who he is. But it's just a matter of time until he gets hurt badly, and that's something that I'm not ready for.
Ah, my little one, it'll be just fine. Your bruise will fade, and your bones didn't break.
I just don't know how to do anything else.
Ah, my little one,
this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
It'll be just fine. Your bruise will fade.
This is home.
I think you should get braids back. They look so mint.
Dude,
I think I might get the braids.
Go ahead, JP.
What's going on, Vampiro? Look at this. He's got the guitar. He's going to show us right off the bat that Vampiro is so much more than what we saw on TV in the 90s and what they saw in Mexico in the 90s. I love it.
How you guys doing?
I'm great, man.
Sorry.
Man, that documentary, I watched that last week. Awesome. And it's so eye-opening to a lot. And I think especially on the mental health, like I touched on there with the concussions. And, 20-something concussions is insane. That's not normal. How are you doing?
Great, man. I'm very grateful to you two guys. It's not every day that you can say that you've made two new friends, and I'm very proud to call you guys brothers. That guy in the movie that you saw, as you can see, I'm 127 pounds lighter than I was in that movie. So my health is back. I'm kicking Alzheimer's ass. I'm doing so many good things. I'm just happy to be alive, man. So I want to say hi to you guys and everybody. I know it's a Friday night, but I can see some of the people here. I see Joe, I see RJ, I see Timber Moon, I see the Paranormal Circle, everybody, Mike, RJ, Matt, Laurie. I just want to say thank you all for coming by tonight. Thank you.
That's huge. That's it's so humbling, I think, for me. And like I told JP, is like, this is our shot, man. We got him for 1 hour. Yeah. We're gonna get all our wrestling questions out of the way. And then from this point forward, it's more about your new venture. And dude, what I really want you to do is take the time right now, and I want you to talk about and announce what you're about to do and to do and like invest. We're ready.
My new project or my operation?
All of it, man, all of it.
Well, you guys are certainly treating it like it's a world-changing event, so thank you for that. But I've been dealing with mental health for about 17 years, very strongly, and I didn't know, and I was misdiagnosed when I broke my neck in WCW, and my brain came out of its cavity and it turned. And when it came back, it stayed out of its cavity and it was swollen. So they kept giving me pain pills and all these things for years and years and years. So it really fucked me up, ruined my career, ruined my life. A year and a half ago, I was in a wheelchair and I was out of commission. That was it. Diagnosed with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, post-traumatic stress, all that shit, and a drug habit, and I was 340 pounds. Drug habit because of all the meds I was taking. I don't know what happened, but I do believe that God put two angels in my life. That would be Gregor and Jackie. They're up the stairs. I'm actually staying with them right now because they're the ones who did the movie. And we went on the spiritual journey. And I got into meditation. I've been practicing ritual magic for years, but I really got into it when I met Damian Eccles from the West Memphis 3, and of course my team upstairs. And I went on a pilgrimage for a year, and I was going to walk across Spain. I walked across California. I walked about 7,000 miles or so in the last year.
Wow.
6,000. So that got me better. And once I started learning about ritual magic and things like that, and having your vibrations correct and all these things, and getting in touch with the ancient alien people, I'm part of that group. There's all kind of weird things that have happened to me. I got to the point where I've had to make some decisions about my career and my life. And the big announcement here tonight with you guys is we've been talking about a podcast for Vampiro for a long, long time. And I fucked around with it a few times, and it didn't really work out for me because I really didn't get into it, and I couldn't understand what they were trying to do with me. But when I put it out there again, you two guys got a hold of me right away, and things just started clicking with me. So what I've done is I've constructed it, and I'm starting a radio station. I have a project that's coming online tonight. This right here is the announcement. As soon as we're done, I'm putting it online myself. But there's going to be 2 weekly shows about pop culture, social issues, vegan lifestyle, fashion, all these kind of crazy things in English and 2 in Spanish. There's also going to be space on my station that anybody who is creative and needs a platform but doesn't know how to get started, you're going to be able to get started with me on this platform. I'm going to give you space for a certain amount of time and help push your project, because I don't want you fucking your life up. I don't want you going on the streets. I don't want anybody telling you what to do or taking your dreams away from you. So if I can help you and you can use my space and I can give you a boost, the only condition is you've got to give back to somebody else coming up. You can't be a fucking moron, and you can't be doing something that's stupid. And you have to do one act of social service with me. Meaning we're going to do it together. I'll get to that later on. So I'm going to have this station. It's going to be to help people. It's going to be to push culture, sports, wrestling, pro wrestling, of course. There's also going to be a pro wrestling show on there. We're going to do some shit, you two guys and me. I know that. But I'm also going to be hitting the circuit. I'm going on this world tour as soon as this COVID bullshit goes away. And I'm going to be hitting every fucking convention in the planet. I'm going to be doing spoken word. I'm going to be doing my podcast live from the events. And I'm going to be interviewing you. I don't give a fuck about the superstars because that's bullshit. And plus, how many more times do you want to hear me talk about how I pushed Sting off a fucking Jumbotron 27,000 decades ago? Nobody gives a fuck about that. So the new stars are the young kids coming up and the fans. So it's a huge interactive project, and it's thanks to you two ninjas, and it starts now.
Now, you just called us ninjas, and that touches on something that I wanted to get into at some point. I didn't know if I was going to do it right away.
All right.
Back in the 90s, I was a fan of wrestling, obviously. I loved WCW. I was liking what you were doing. I was loving all of that. Like I was one of them flipping back and forth. But I also loved my music. And I was a juggalo. And you would throw stuff up. You would you would go out in the ICP paint sometimes instead of your own paint. But you actually played bass for them for a while, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was that your first, I mean, obviously not your first time playing bass, but was that your first time as sort of like in that, the rock star mentality outside of pro wrestling?
No. I was a musician way before I was a pro wrestler.
Okay.
I became a pro wrestler because at that time in my life, I was either going to be a hockey player or a musician, but I couldn't leave sports, and I couldn't find guys to commit to playing in a band. Like, we were 15-year-old kids, and I was like, no, motherfucker, we got to go now. And then I saw pro wrestling, and I was like, well, I can do both of them. So I've been in bands since I was like 13.
And one thing that I've noticed is that you don't do anything small. Like, you want to become a pro wrestler. You went down to Mexico and became a fucking legend.
The only thing small is my penis. What? Huh? I'm reading the comments here. Somebody said something. What? I went to Mexico, and then what happened?
You became a legend in Mexico. Like a legitimate Lucha Libre legend. Now, and then you go on tour with, back then ICP was huge. Like they had the cult following, like the Juggalos were crazy. Do you do anything small? Have you ever? Is it just like the alpha male in you that like pushes everything huge?
It's nothing to do with being an alpha male. I'm a student of life. I'm curious. I wanted to learn about Egypt. So I went to Egypt and I slept in the pyramid. Got friends over there, some weird shit. So no, I don't do anything small because that's not living, man.
You slept in a pyramid?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That's insane, yeah.
I am so fascinated by all of that in, like, when you started touching on, like, a lot of the stuff that we get to see on the History Channel, right? Like, we get to see, fuck that's delicious boys out there hanging out, Ancient Aliens, just, eating some good food and hanging out. And I'm so intrigued at the stuff that you're going to get to do, the doors that you're going to get to open, and the ventures that you're going to be able to do, because I know just from the short amount of time that we've been able to talk, like, it's so hard to digest a pill that large when somebody says the greatest lucha legend in Mexico, possibly ever, is a kid from Canada that moved to Mexico, like taught himself Spanish, which I downloaded the Duolingo app, so I'm literally starting from stage one because of you. So when you do stuff, I want to be able to at least have an idea of what the fuck is going on when you're talking to Spanish. I took 2 years of it, so it's kicking in. But I'm super excited to see that Gnosticism and the wisdom that you've gained through just the ability to decide to open up to a little, I shouldn't say a little bit, but just open up to a platform that wasn't available before because you were so turned off from the brain injury, the twisting, the diet, the brutality that pro wrestling is, plus being a father, dude. Like the amount of respect that it's, and I'm just getting out there, so this is the last time I ever. It's the pro wrestling community has so much respect for you, and so many people said so many amazing things. Like, if you only do this for a year, if you only take the chance with us to do this for a year, for people to pick your brain and actually just say, all I got to do is like do one social activity with Vampiro and he's going to do everything and I got to pay that forward, I'm in. Like, that is legitimately what I think the pro wrestling community really on the Twitterverse has become. And I'm really excited to see people take advantage of that.
It's a blessing to be alive, you know? And I don't understand why people say legend, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a guy. I'm not a legend. I ain't no fucking legend. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know what happened. I can't explain it. But I was a wrestler. That's it. I was a pro wrestler. But down there, I became a cultural icon, and I still don't understand it to this day. I don't get it. So I don't.
Let me put it this way, and maybe this makes a little bit more sense as a father. When you look at it as the amount of time and energy you had to sacrifice to build Vampiro, that's the appreciation I feel as not just a dad, but like a fan of just the amount of sacrifice that you had. It shows in the movie. I'm excited to continue to talk about it, and I always will talk about it because it really is one of those things that's personal to me. Is the challenge of being a father, especially now in these days, is fucking insanity. It is insanity. The access that, and I'm going to put it out there, the access that little boys have to little girls, even in online learning these times, to go ahead and send them emails through their school email is insane. So, like, being a dad right now, super hypersensitive all the time. And
especially to a girl because of what you just said, you know.
I'm really excited to see you do that with other guys that are out there that are experienced this, man. The father adventure of Vampiro and like the guidance that you've learned from raising a daughter this way.
Can you explain who you're doing that project with to the people, because that's fucking insane, and I think that the depth that you three will get into on that is going to really show people that no matter who you are, you're a father first.
You guys have hit me with so much shit, throwing me away.
Sorry.
Just talking about Billy and Biohazard, and you guys talking about being dads.
I wanted there was something else though that you started this with, this question conversation. That was an important point.
Probably too much compliments, man, and us just.
I don't know. It's like, dude, fuck, man. Look, I've been given a gift. You know what I'm saying? And the sacrifice you're saying, all those things, and I'll get to being a parent in a second, but it's got to be really fucking clear. And I'm looking at the names on here, and I'm seeing it. I know you guys are going to have people watching this later, but Vampiro's not a gimmick. I mean, I ain't a fucking character. You know, I've been this way since birth. I mean, Vampiro's a name I put to it, since I got better, I've gone to university. I got my degree in psychology and all these kind of things because I'm a life coach and I help people, right? But I also try to figure some shit out myself, and I've gone through my own journey, my own therapy, and it's like Ian, that's me, gets in the way of Vampiro. Vampiro's a fucking awesome bad motherfucker. When I become Ian and I worry about what everybody thinks and I try to fit in, then things get fucked up. Vampiro was put here by God. Vampiro was made by people Vampiro is an underdog. I'm just a guy who puts that mask on and becomes the energy that people give me to get the job done. I'm a real life vigilante on a spiritual level. And I straight up just don't give a fuck for anything that's not sincere from the heart. That's why I fight for the underdog. So in saying that, Billy Biohazard, who's a guitar player, great fucking homie, brother of mine from Biohazard. And I can't say his name. Well, Junior, I'll say that. I don't know what the statute of limitations are on a couple things, so I'll let him deal with this shit. And he's in a hardcore band here in L.A., like a very fucking brass-knuckled, fuck-you-up hardcore band. And we're going to do one of the shows on my radio station is going to be like a parenting show, but almost like the Three Amigos movie, And we're just gonna tackle issues of parenting. What guys like us, like Billy's and fucking Billy Biohazard, and we got Junior. He's a touring musician, and you got me, but we're all parents. Like I got a 20-year-old daughter. Billy's got a daughter and a son, and Junior's got a couple kids. And Junior's a cholo from East LA. Don't fuck with that guy. Billy's from Boston. And then you got me from Canada, but I grew up in Mexico, and I speak more Spanish than both of them put together. So it's this fucked up mess, but it's awesome. And we're going to just talk about, all the shit that you just said. And like these two fucking guys, hey, you fuck with my daughter, it ain't going to go well. But I'm going to tell you right fucking now, that's the wrong thing to do. If you do not tell your daughter, listen, you're going to find out about boys right now, and they're going to be all over you. And I want you to go for it. I want you to have fucking fun. I want you to date people. I want you to meet boys. I want you to fall in love. I want you to get your heart broken. Do it all on the condition that you talk to me about every single fucking step. Because if an older boy comes after you, he's already a little bit more advanced, and he's going to talk to you to manipulate you to do certain things that you should do when the time is right and for the right reason, not now. If you talk to your daughter like I just told you to, you're going to go very far as a dad. If you're like, who is that calling you? You can't do this. What are you writing? You're fucked, because you're going to have a rebel on your hands, and she's going to break your heart, and you're going to fuck her up for life. So the hardest thing about being a dad to a daughter is backing off. It sucks, dude, but it is what it is.
Do you think, do you feel like in your life, man, and I say this repeatedly, is that I had people around me that didn't allow me to fail early enough in my life and to learn those lessons of failure quick enough to be more successful?
That guy.
And I think I had kind of the opposite.
The guy who swears my fucking hand.
That's
this guy. The guy who made me get this on my hand. Guardian Angels for life.
Yes.
That little cross right there.
And that's more than just a tattoo to you, too, the Guardian Angels.
Just right there. That fucking cross right there. Right here. Every time I look in the mirror. I never forget to say thank you to God for letting me be here one more day.
Now, you pointed out the Guardian Angels tattoo, and that's more than just a tattoo to you.
Of course.
You actually started the Guardian Angels in Mexico, right? You not started them, but brought them to Mexico. Is that right?
Yeah. I was chapter leader in Mexico. I've been in the Angels for way over 20 years, and
I want to ask you your experiences, but at the same time, I know I can't. I know you probably wouldn't be able to answer those.
Why wouldn't I? Right now, my position in the group is like I'm an international liaison because I travel so much, and I bring the message wherever I go. So Curtis said, Curtis Lewa, president of the Guardian Angels, said, "Look, just go do your fucking thing and get it done." And when I'm in LA, I run LA. When I'm in Mexico, I run Mexico. When I'm in New York City, I'm with. I go out with Curtis, and I walk with Curtis, because when you go with Curtis, you got the old school guys, you got the newbies, and that's fucking dope. But you got guys who got 8, 10, 12 years, but you got a handful of dudes. You got like this one homie, EQ. EQ is an original Guardian Angel from the 70s. And then you got Super Stretch. Stretch is another motherfucker. You know, he's been there since 1979. So when I go with Curtis, I'm with the original team. And it's like, and Curtis is like, no, you stay by me. You just have this thing. It's just this bolt of lightning because Zeus just said, walk by me, and he gave you a lightning bolt. You know what I mean? It's like, and you're walking down the street and you see all the gangbangers looking at you, and you see all the fucking Mata Salvatrucha eyeing you up, and you see all the homies running around the corner and the guys on the scooters and everybody sending messages on the phones and shit like that, calling us faggots and throwing shit at us. You know, punk ass, fake motherfucking Guardian Angels, all that kind of stupid talk. And it's like, this is fucking insane, man. I'm right in the fucking eye of the hurricane. This can go off, or I can save somebody's life, or I can be a role model. And I'm doing it unprotected with no support as a volunteer. That's a fucking blessing. That's a gift from God. You know what I'm saying?
I remember in the 90s being 18, 19 years old in Boston, and the Guardian Angels made a presence there because of gang activity in downtown. And it was just, it was intimidating to see them. They didn't do anything for the most part. You see them standing at the MBTA station, the train station, but just a group of guys who you know are organized, and if you fuck around, they're going to step in.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, the Guardian Angels are a visual deterrent. I mean, if there's a situation and it goes down, you have to understand they're the first ones in, last ones out.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. But
I respect that.
That's not what it's about. You know what I mean? It's more like you walk with that pride in your community. So people, if you walk a little old lady across the street, or you take some teenagers home after a party, shit like that, you're showing love for where you came from. And you want those people to get that light from you so they can carry the same message, so that if everybody's on the same page, there ain't no shit happening. Do it fucking right. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to go out there and crack guys all the time. The intimidating part is, yes, you got to understand to put that red, white jacket on with that big logo. That's a bullseye on your back. And some stupid drunk fucking guy is going to come and try to go at you. It's going to go down. But if you're cool in the streets, you should know this, all you fucking Southeast crazy motherfuckers up there. You guys, if there's respect on the street, no one's going to fuck with you if you do the right thing.
That was the when the Guardian Angels came into Boston in the 90s, I think it was actually far because they were challenged by some of the Southeast street guys.
Of course, you're affecting somebody's payday.
Yeah, so that's why they came in, and I believe at the end of it there was a little bit of a bond made. So
yeah, there always is. There always is. Look,
it's kind of cool.
All my friends are like thugs with a capital T. Hoodlums. All my friends.
Yeah.
They know I'm a Guardian Angel. Some of them turned on me, and about 90% of them are super cool and support it 100%. Because look, at the end of the day, man, if they had to go away, who do you think take care of their kids?
Right.
You know, set an example. Make sure that little homie doesn't go down the wrong path. Shit like that, you know?
Yeah. And there's a respect on both ends of it. You're not going to step in if you don't see something, and they shouldn't be doing anything in front of you knowing what you do.
Yeah, you can't do that. You don't step in. That's not the point. The point is you're setting a positive example for young people. And you're a community source of like a security blanket. If somebody needs something and there's nowhere to go and they see a Guardian Angel, the Guardian Angel is going to make sure you get home. You get a phone. You can get medical assistance. You can get police assistance. The Guardian Angel will make sure you get a meal. That's what it is. It's a good Samaritan. It's not about being a vigilante.
Okay.
But best believe
they can be.
If something happens, it is what it is.
Now, I also wanted to, because wrestling is kind of behind you with the exception of, doing, like you said, you'll do some signings and you'll hit the convention circuit and that type of thing. Is there any sort of disdain towards pro wrestling now? Did you get sort of, I don't want to say burnt by the business, but I know a lot of people, when they get out, they're sort of jagged towards it.
You know what? I was like everybody, but through my therapy, I hope somebody gets something out of what I'm going to say. I took every relationship in my life that went wrong, girlfriends, school, sports, pro wrestling, and in every one of those circumstances that there was something fucked up, there's one common denominator, and that's I was involved. So whatever happened in any situation, it was nobody else's fault but mine.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
So when I left wrestling, I was a little bit bitter, but I realized I was more confused than bitter because of my head injury. But at the same time, I used to say for years, I hate wrestling. I hate this. I hate everything. Everything's wrong. Actually, I fucking hated who I was as a person. I hated who I became. I hated what I let be done to me. I sold myself out for $1, and I'm thoroughly embarrassed about it. I love pro wrestling. This is my 39th year as an active participant in the industry. Because of pro wrestling, Vampiro exists. Because of pro wrestling, my family has a home. I don't like what I became, not because of what pro wrestling did to me. Pro wrestling didn't do nothing to me but make me fucking have the ability to have the most awesome life in the world. And look what I'm doing for a living. Come on, man. Right. And I love the indies. What I love about pro wrestling is before the guys and girls make it, when they're still hungry and they're innocent. If I can participate at that level and influence people and guide them and teach them, I'm in 100%. But as far as pursuing it to do a living because I need my ego jacked off one more time, no, that's not me.
No, and that's cool. Like, do you follow some of the independent scene now?
That's what he's dependent on us for, JP. Remember?
We're gonna turn it into.
You can't see it. I do, and I don't.
Okay.
Meaning I do and I don't. I'm not up to date. I mean, if you ask me who the next hot property was, fuck, I don't know. Okay. But I'm a lot like Joey Chaos, for example, is a great friend of mine. He's got an indie promotion here in LA. I support that. Dave Marquez, I know very well.
Oh, yeah.
He has this thing.
Dave's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, so like I kind of know a few people, but I haven't really done it. But I certainly support it. And why I support it, it's because it's made by the fans. And that's everything. If you don't have fans,
right,
you're fucked. And I think the world.
I think the coolest thing is when we talk about this, and what we all had in common was just imagine these social media platforms 20 years ago, like the ability to do this 20 years ago, and I love Lucha Libre style wrestling. It is what I live for, and that's just because I'm a West Coast guy. That's what I am.
I like wrestling so much. I just don't get it.
And the thing I think that gets lost in all of this is
this is good shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that you're willing to do whatever it takes to help out that next generation coming up. And I as a fan and appreciative of what you have done and what others continue to do, like in the future, that's huge, invaluable information for a lot of these kids out there that are looking down the same situation, the decisions you were. Because honestly, how much do we think's really changed about the business?
I really hope that more guys and girls stay indie. It's very soon that the money's going to get better, and all these indie promotions on the internet now, where you're uncensored in your work and there's no creative team telling you what not to do, you're going to surpass what the guys can do on television, even though they have better production. So if you want longevity, I believe wrestling is going back to the territory system. The indie system is going to dominate the two companies, because the two companies that are there are basically all the indie guys who couldn't make it anywhere else. And now you take those guys who don't have any experience and have been put into a machine and pre-programmed and have to follow a script. That's not exciting lucha libre indie wrestling with guys jumping out of balconies and chairs and fire. I believe the new generation is going to make the indie scene surpass both of those companies, and the harmony is going to return to pro wrestling.
I know, like, there are guys who...
If it doesn't, well, fuck y'all then.
AEW was started by guys who made a living for a long time and made a damn good living off of independence, the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, as independent wrestlers, had their shirts in Hot Topic. So I think you're right on that. It's definitely trending in that direction. We just
you can ask Elvis this question, JP.
Yeah, I was going to say we just got a question, and I think I'm really interested in this. I know we weren't going to ask you a lot of wrestling questions, but Elvis wants to know what you think your greatest match was. Well, who your greatest match was with, and I think your answer is going to be different than what people expect.
Do you know what my answer is?
I have no idea, but I think I...
did we talk about this the other day? I can't remember. Head drama.
No.
Okay.
Nope. This is totally random question, totally out of the blue. Just a fan out there that is wanting to know, who...
I just need to know if that's his real name, Elvis, because that's fucking crazy if it is.
It is. He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
Well, my greatest match...
I know. It's the accessing.
It's been with my ego.
Okay.
My ego has ruined my life, and my ego has put a veil on my eyes that didn't let me see clearly. My ego has been my toughest opponent, and it's a match that now that I know I've trained for it, I'm going to fight it for the rest of my life because I want to be a humble man. I want to be an accessible man. And I want to be a professional human being. And I couldn't do that when I was Vampiro in the ring because my ego wouldn't listen. So that's been my toughest opponent.
No, that's deep, and that's almost what I expected that you were going to say. I knew you were going to say it was something to do with yourself. I didn't expect the ego. Did the ego come because of like how over you were in Mexico, though? Like, not because of that, but because of how over you got yourself and how people pumped you up, I guess.
I'm glad you asked that. And please tell me we have all the time in the world. We can keep going and ask me wrestling questions because I like your wrestling questions. I haven't heard, hey, what was it like to wrestle Sting? I'm fucking scared.
It's because we're cerebral, man.
I gotcha. But in my language, in ritual magic, ego is not, hey, I'm ego. Ego is what you eat, what you think, who your friends are, who your influences are, your choices, your attitude, how you react when somebody is giving you feedback, positive or negative. That's your ego. So I know how to do that. I seen that on TV, so I understand it. That's ego. I saw the pyramids in Egypt, so I know all about it. No, motherfucker. I went to Egypt. I stayed in the locals' house. I had their food. I dressed like them. We went into the desert at night with a roaming nomad tribe, and we snuck in to the big pyramid. I went into the big tomb and I did a ritual that Aleister Crowley did because I needed to know for myself what that provoked. Whoa. So yes, there is a big difference. And I like that style of living a little bit better.
That is insane. Like when you said you slept in the pyramid, I thought that was nuts. That's just fucking insane. Like that's stuff that doesn't even make it to people's bucket list because they don't think it's possible.
And that's why, because they've already sunk the ship. If you manifest it, that it's not possible. Right. Well, then you're fucked. It doesn't matter what's happening. Like right now, economically and emotionally and things like that, because I've just come out of 2 years of being fucking pretty much brain dead. I'm not in the best place in my life, but I'm not even phased, dude. I'm starting this radio station because I know it's going to succeed. I'm going to Egypt and Italy next year. I got a record album that I just finished writing, and I'm going on tour with my band.
That is.
When? Don't ask me when. Just be there because it's happening.
Yes.
It just is what it is.
I can't wait to get you up here in Boston because we get you up here in Boston. I'll get the promote. Like there's only one real convention up here, and it's in Rhode Island, and that can happen easily. I'm friends with Joe Bruin who promotes that, so we'll definitely be having a conversation with him. But I want to.
He's like me. He's like, let me look at that map real quick. Oh nope.
It's legal in Mass. You can buy it in Mass. Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm gonna visit every place. There's other things going on that I can't talk about yet, but I'm gonna travel as much as I can in the United States. I want to do every convention, every horror con, every Comic Con, every wrestling con, every indie show that would accept me. I will be there. I want to do my podcast from your place. You can either bring me in to do something on your show or just give me permission to be there, one or the other. But I want to go everywhere because I'm curious and I want to learn from you. There's so many people out there that have fucked up lives, hard lives, 2-3 jobs, single parents, guys who are fucked up and chasing their dreams. You inspire me to live. And I want to know you. I want to know about you, and I want the world to hear your story. It's all about giving love, man, and that's what it's all about.
Man. And then I want to ask you at the end of that tour who you think the hottest kid in the independents are, because at that point you'll have seen it, and every one of them should ask you, "Hey, watch my match."
I'll watch every single one of them. But here, this is a little thing for the indie people. You're only as good as your opponent, and you're only as good as you understanding it is a fucking team. If you try to eat everybody's lunch, there are 3 things that are going to happen. You're going to be popular for about 2 minutes. You're going to get your fucking head kicked in the dressing room. No one's going to book you, and your career is going to be over.
I've literally seen, because I've helped out at a lot of indie shows. I've never wrestled. That's not my ambition.
You're good though. You see that shit. So, kids, guys, girls,
but
don't
I
fuck
wanted
this
to be
up
around it.
You know, if the program is good, if the match is good, if the creativity is there, you tell a good story. Today, the word of mouth travels quick. Yes. Don't worry about it. Get it?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, man. When we talk about, because 20 years ago, it was internet radio. You're starting the radio station. Now podcasts exist.
You guys can ask me about wrestling too. I'm just kidding. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's. I want to know how you feel about pro wrestlers and Patreon. Not so much about the business side of itself, but is that what you're talking about? Like, take everything you can and make yourself marketable in every possible way that you possibly can. Do it without the big machine.
Yes and no. It's not so much do it all. Do it right. And that means be authentic and be honest. Don't try to, people aren't stupid. Don't work the people. If you're going to try to sell something on Patreon, sell something on fucking Patreon. Don't try to weasel work, schmooze, and be smooth. Fuck all that. If you want to be taken seriously, then act serious. If you want people to respect you, you got to show respect. But you need to show value. So don't put out 17 T-shirts if you've been in the business for a week. Don't even fucking do it. Get out there and earn it. First, create a following on social media by showing the fans you respect them. Don't put pictures of you in the gym and your dog and on the beach and tanning. I got to tell you something. Absolutely no one gives a fuck about any of that except you. I don't give a fuck if you take steroids or you don't. I don't care if you're suntan. I don't care if you got a six-pack. I don't want to see your shit. You know what I'm saying? So, in saying that, when you go to a show, don't take a selfie of yourself. I'm going to the ring. So what? Take a selfie of you with the fans. Put the fans over. As soon as you start to cultivate their trust because you earned that, then come up with one item on one platform. Don't be fucking greedy. Go slow. People will respond to you. But if you force it down their throat, you're going to fuck things up. Not only for you, but for everybody. Because some of these people really depend on Patreon to make a living. And they do it right. So, earn your stripes. Don't just jump in the deep end.
Isn't that kind of the business model, though? Is anytime you go into any business, you want to earn the business. You want to earn the business. That's really what you're doing. The fans are the business. The fans are the business. And you got to be able to earn that respect. And I think that, like you're saying, a lot of that's been lost because they assume that it comes with the territory just because I made it. I signed a contract. I did this. But there's more to it. There's a lot more to it, right?
I made it. I love that. What the fuck did you make?
Hopefully
if
money.
If you made it, you don't need that contract and that TV time. If you made it, you're making that money because you earned it. Now,
doesn't the TV time help the money, though, in theory?
Of course it does. But you've got to do the time. You can't just, I signed a contract that automatically gives me the right to charge astronomical amounts on the indie circuit. No. That's the wrong way to do it. Give me $10,000 a match. Or give me 6 matches at $1,000. And all of the merch will be mine. I'll make triple that.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the trick. And that's...
It's like, use your fucking head. But people are stupid. People want everything for nothing. Look, in today's day and age, especially with this corona bullshit and the oversaturation of every goddamn person in the world has something better than the next to sell you, if fans are loyal to you, they're going to support you because they enjoy being part of what you're a part of. So don't fuck that up. You know what I'm saying? Don't beg. People want to buy your merch. But they also have bills. They have things to do. They need to eat. So chill the fuck out. It'll come. Just be patient.
No. Yeah, that is true. And that's the you hit it right. Like if you know your merch is selling, you don't need to charge that super high price. You can charge a decent price where the promoter knows you're making a living, but then you go and you sell a shitload of merch and you're gonna triple your money. And that's
I also think Patreon's a necessary part of this industry because it's cultivating a new type of consumer. There's so many things that are changing right now, and there's really very few places to get specific cool things. Like a wrestler who has a Patreon account can put a little bit more of a risque type of logo or T-shirt or something. Whereas if they're in a big company, it's the generic Walmart safety,
Yep.
There's no adventure. So Patreon really is an awesome thing because it's very punk rock. It's basically, when I wanted to open businesses when I was young, like a T-shirt shop and all these kind of shit, what am I doing with my life? You can't. You needed a bank loan, you needed a credit check, a police report. It's, as an example, and that's cool, that's normal. But now, if you have any kind of dream and desire, you can open a store on Patreon. And you can do the best you can with what you got. If you sink or swim, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is you did it your way under your circumstances and conditions. That's living life, man.
That's, man,
my podcast is going to kick ass, motherfucker.
Yeah. So now, what is the name of your podcast? I know it's Vampiro. It's Radio Vampiro, and that's going to be the station. What is the name of the podcast going to be? Tell people a little bit about it.
Which one?
Your main podcast. So.
Yeah, well, the way I figure The smartest way to do it is like, in my experience, because of sports and music and everything else I've done in my life, it's don't come up with a major plan. Just start. So I've done the homework. I've got everything in line. I've got everything kind of set up the way I need it. And I have a million ideas, but I think the best way to go about it is do a show with different segments. See how I feel, see how it plays out. When I get more comfortable, then I'll kind of split it up and break it up and things like that and move on. But I need to get one. I need to hit one out of the park before I worry about hitting 10, right?
That's
right.
So I got one. It'll be Spanish and English. And I think the first couple are going to basically just get my flow going, let people understand who I am. I'll touch on my past. I'll reconnect with a lot of people, and I believe that I want people to see me fall, because my whole point of doing this is to inspire people that I'm starting from no experience. If I can do it, you can do it. It's a very punk rock thing, so that's part of the deal. So I'm excited just to let it start and see what happens.
I'm so excited on a personal level because, like you've mentioned before, like your pain level, and this is like the last for me personally. This is the last pro wrestling question I ever want to ask you because it's such a. I get it because it's such a strain.
Ask me all the ones you want. You have to. I'm fucking Vampiro.
I know, but.
What was it like wrestling Sting? I'm joking.
It was incredible.
I had to do that.
I think this is the coolest part is because you get to do both in this opportunity. You get to do both. You get to have the conversations with the guys in the business that you miss or may have wanted to have a conversation with that you didn't. And I'm sure that they've matured at the same time. And I'm really excited about that part, that niche, that mental health, that part of who you are as a man and a father and a producer and director, and now just the podcaster that you are. Like I'm super excited to see that part formulate, not just us asking those questions, but you asking those questions to those people is what I personally, as a fan of you. And a fan of your work and a fan of pro wrestling in general is really most looking forward to when it comes to the pro wrestling part of it. Do you have a couple people in mind that you're like, I really want to have this conversation. I want to have this conversation. I just haven't had it yet.
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I got the bug again when I was doing the commentating on Lucha Underground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a commentator. I wanted to say something that was going to be impactful, so the people see I was paying attention. Out of that, I got a talk show. So my talk show ended last night with the last episode for the year. I did 30-something episodes this year, and I was interviewing people on a talk show. I fucking love it. Mm-hmm. And they asked me who did I want to interview on the show. And I was like, well, I want to interview anybody you put in front of me, but don't tell me who it is.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, well, what is the interview about? And I said, I don't know. Because I don't want to have an interview. I want to have a conversation. I want to learn something. And I want to make sure that my way of speaking doesn't make the person feel threatened. That's the interview. And I believe when you say who would I love to have on the show, nobody. I want to have on the show somebody who has something to say. I don't want to. This isn't, if any of the boys out there get a hold of this, a lot of the guys don't like me. A lot of people do, but a lot don't. This will never, ever be a platform to put somebody over or let somebody try to get over or manipulate this or take advantage of it. That's not who I am or what I want to do. This is a whole other thing. This is therapy for me. And I want to share. There's so much beautiful knowledge out there in the world and all these experiences, and everybody, we all bond through pro wrestling. But every single person who's going to see this, hear this, participate has something interesting to share. And I want to take that and go and do it myself and come back and say, you know what? This is what I got out of it. And I just want to have a place where people are safe No one's judged, and it's all fucking K to fail, and just keep going. So I just want to have a cool place, man. That's what that's what I'm doing.
I want to ask. So, what I'm curious about, you just said a lot of people don't like you, but a lot do. When you were in the locker room, who would be sitting next to you?
No one. So I wouldn't sit in the locker room.
Okay.
I'd sit in the hallway.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you were you sort of a loner back then?
Since day one.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to be involved in their bullshit, their talking, their drugs, their drinking, their cheating on their wives, their who makes what money, who's an asshole, who's a moreover. Guys, you're putting on fucking spandex and pretending to be superheroes. I never got along with the guys, and I'm very insecure and I'm very shy. So even though I have all the tattoos and all that stuff, that was part of the reason I got them all, so people wouldn't have to look me in the eye. I'm too intimidated, and people always take it as I'm rude or arrogant or whatever, and I understand that. I didn't see it that way, and I should have explained myself, but in the moment, I was just really nervous, so I just kind of put a little chair in the corner and didn't bug anybody. Plus, when I transformed with the face paint, that's a ritual, and I got to be alone, and I go to a different place, and it's not good that I'm around people. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I think that is really coming around in wrestling now. Like before, it had to be the brother handshake and the little Connie stuff that went with that. And I think now that's kind of going to the wayside because it's no more soft handshake means anything. You know what I mean? Without revealing too much of the fourth wall. And there's a lot of guys out there that are like that are insecure and just don't like necessarily. It's not that they don't like the people around them; it's that they don't like talking to people, and that's it's becoming more normalized in pro wrestling.
We're antisocial nerds that don't like to hang out with people. That's why we like pro wrestling. That's why we watch pro wrestling. That's why we're fans of pro wrestling. Is because we like the niche. We like the themes, the good versus bad, the evil, we're picking sides. It's the entire scope of anytime anybody goes out there, anything's on the table. It's up to the artist when they go out there.
I respect everything. I want to reframe something though. The way that when you said the soft handshake, a lot of people don't understand what that meant.
Yeah, I left that bag.
But there are guys. If you're in my generation and you don't do that to somebody who's been around longer than you, then that's disrespectful.
Okay,
it very much so is, because that's their era. You got to remember where you came from, so you need to do that. The younger guys. I think it is extremely. This is one of the things I love about Raven, and he says it. He doesn't get mean about it. He's actually a great teacher. Sandman is too, believe it or not. So is Sabu. I've seen him do this, and I do it too. A lot of young guys don't know. You go into a dressing room. It doesn't matter if somebody has less time than you. You make sure you say hello to everybody. And if somebody comes in late, you be the first one to go say hello. If you're sitting in your chair, even if the person is not a veteran, but if it's a fucking veteran, you give up your chair. Even if it's not, a veteran will see you as a locker room leader if you do that, because you're setting an example for everybody. So yeah, some of the culture is gone, but it's changed because of necessity. And Raven points that out. You see some guys come in and say, yo, man, I understand. I'm not offended, but I will be offended if you don't go and introduce yourself. Things like that. And it's just a little, it's proper etiquette, and it's needed. It's not disciplined internally like it was before.
Yeah.
But it's still there.
I don't know that every school teaches it anymore.
No, they don't. Because look who's teaching the schools.
That's true.
Yeah,
is that something you'd be interested in? Would you maybe not doing a school, but doing seminars along the tour?
I've had schools. I've done seminars. I do them all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my seminars are different. My seminars are like going to school. Like it's a 4-hour speech. Yeah, we don't go in the ring. You learn. It's a whole other thing, man.
How much? This is a question, I guess. People always say sting, right? I had somebody ask me the other day, when we're talking about the culture in Mexico, the family, the closeness, everything that it comes down to it. More people, I think, compare you these days to Undertaker than they would a Sting when it comes to the legacy and who you are in Mexico. Would you? I know it's hard to do these comparisons, and I have to ask these questions because if I don't, I'm going to get in trouble. But do you ever put yourself on that level? Do you, like, when you're talking about locker room leaders everywhere that we hear about now that he's coming out and talking, is like he was the man, he was the dude. Like, if you didn't earn that man's respect, you weren't going to be there.
Being that I was the longest stretch, the last 10, 12, 13 years, I was also in the role of talent relations. It was important for me to be a leader, but not like that, not control the floor. The so-called leaders came to me to get orders on how to control the floor to my liking. That's a fucking bigger step in respect there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think that's and I don't want to cut.
Yeah.
I think that's the point. I think when Vampiro translate to the States, Vampiro doesn't translate like it does in Mexico and Canada and Europe and Russia and every place else in the world, because for me, man, it's the fact that the family structure is a lot different in the States. The respect structure is a lot different in the States. The United States is the only country that when you turn 18, like, we really kick you out of the house rather than keeping you close and trying to help you grow. It's one of the most confusing things I've ever, I think, experienced with the States. So when I asked that question, it really, I'm glad you responded that way, because I didn't understand it until I watched your documentary. I didn't get it. It didn't resonate with me on the level that it did now, because I saw how every single motherfucker that was there said that you were the man and will always be the man down there because of who you are. You just were approachable. You ran it like a business. Business came first, and when we were done, then let's talk about it. And I think that's the coolest thing, is that you're just so even-keeled when it comes to a lot of things, and so on the opposite when it comes to others. And I think that's a good combination. And I'm so excited for everybody to see this Vampiro, more than I've ever been. Like, when I listen to podcasts, I watch interviews. Like when you posted that video in the car being lost, and I know you've talked about it before, dude. That was the first time. I shared that with JP. I reached out and I was like, dude, this guy. Like, we talked about it because we talked about Paul Richard, we talked about CTE, we talked about the concussions and blows to the head. We talked about all of this, and we see how the industry has changed away from the blows to the head. I'm just more excited about how you've literally become such a different Vampiro than you were at that point. And that journey, man, and you're talking about being a life coach, is fucking invaluable. And I'm so looking forward to people grasping and grabbing onto that and growing from it.
Wow. Thank you.
Dude, it's super humbling and powerful on this end, because I don't think people understand. They confuse what they think. You say you're always going to be Vampiro. That's always going to be who you are. That will never ever escape you. It is ingrained in you. Like, when you go to Mexico, you're fucked. You're fucked. Like, you can't go nowhere.
It's at a point where Vampiro was just a name now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's what you wrestled as for a long time, but it's your nickname at this point. It's your name at this point. It's not even a nickname. It's your name.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, there's something about to go down in Mexico that I contractually can't say. It's not wrestling. That's going to Yeah.
It's fundamentally going to change everything. I guess that's the point I want to get across is when people listen to this is like if people want to learn how to do things, not the short way, just the right way. You're going to talk to somebody and show them the right way. If you want to do it the right and ethical way to make money so you're comfortable and feel good about yourself, I feel like the amount of knowledge you're going to pass on to these kids, not only in the independent scene, but just people that have mental health issues, is fucking amazing, man. And I'm more excited about that. I think that is going to propel you further in the States than the wrestling in Mexico, and that's what I'm excited about.
I'm going to try, my friend, and thank you for saying that. That's my intention.
Now, if you had 2 matches left in you, and this will be my last wrestling question, if you had one match up here in the U.S. and one match down in Mexico, who would it be in each side of that?
One match in the United States and one match in Mexico?
Yes.
In the United States with Jennifer Aniston.
Respect that answer.
She'd be the one. And in Mexico, with Conan, for sure. Because of what it means historically. Every time if the people know we're in the same town together, it's an event. It makes the news. So that would be it.
Is there real tension there?
There was, but no.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, absolutely not.
So that would be a match. Like I was going to ask, would that be a match or would that turn into a fight? But
I mean, even when there was some pretty strong beef there, we were business because we knew. Okay. We're just two stupid guys, and you don't understand. We just got to stand in the ring and look at each other, and the building shakes. The people, it's like.
That's a match that would probably be one of the most historical matches in Mexico, and that was the reason I asked that question.
It goes right back to what
I had seen you saw that. You've said that before.
It goes right back to what he said at the beginning: is that you got to have that other part. You got to have the yin to the yang. You got to have the black to the white. You got to have that person that know. You just when you look in that person's eye, it's just that one little wrinkle or twitch. You know exactly what needs to happen.
And we don't do shit. That's what brings the noise. We just stare at each other and the place goes fucking out of their minds. So, yeah, that's kind of what happens.
Okay, so Jennifer Aniston in the States and Conan in Mexico. That's perfect.
So we're going to put the soundbite out there that Vampiro challenged Jennifer Aniston to a match.
You broke up on me, dude.
We're going to put the soundbite out there that you challenged Jennifer Aniston to a match.
Oh, fuck, I'd marry her. I don't care, whatever. Yeah.
Swiping right.
Oh, fuck, hey.
I can hear Timbo laughing in the background.
Hey, we're an hour and 6 minutes in, man. I as a podcast, we got to keep it short, and I just want to tell you, man, I respect you more than I ever thought I could, because in the beginning, like I said with JP, you've been burnt, we've been burnt. But when you find a true brother in the world, you make sure that you latch on and you do everything you can to make sure that you make each other successful. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. And I appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. And we'll talk later tonight or tomorrow for sure, 100%.
Yes, absolutely. And anything we can do, every time Radio Vampiro makes an announcement, it will go out on here. It'll go out on our Twitter. So
appreciate it.
We a lot of love for you, man. It's. I don't, like you said earlier, I don't make friends often, and over the past couple of weeks, I've talked to you more than I've talked to some of my family. So it's really cool, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I will continue to get high in your honor.
Oh boy. Same. Ditto. Hey, we're going to let you go, man. We're going to go spin the wheel, give away a fig. But thanks, man. I'm so excited, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll talk tomorrow, man.
Yes,
absolutely.
All right.
Have a great
See you, buddy.
Man.
Peace.
How fucking cool is he?
I'm telling you, man. People are not ready for him. People are not ready
keep
for.
Up with the comments, But like, Bobby, I appreciate you putting me over, man. Bobby said something I didn't want. This wasn't about putting myself over. Just saying that I thank him after every show because Bobby D sets up the ring and doesn't stop until he's like the first one in the building and last one out of the building. It's cool. But guys, we got a little, I don't know, we got some fucking wheel or something to spin.
Yeah, let's spin this wheel. Let's give away this fig. I'm excited to give this Matt Hardy fig away, dude. It's pretty cool. The cool thing about it is, huh?
We missed an opportunity this week, though.
With what?
What we called it. We should have done retweet.
What?
Instead of delete.
Oh my god, dude. Fuck. Look at that, dude. I want everybody to see there's actual the referee head.
That's the Matt. Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's Danny Davis. That's Dangerous Danny Davis.
Yeah,
Member
look.
of the fucking Heart Foundation right there.
Look.
Brockton, Massachusetts resident Dangerous Danny Davis, people.
Look, can you see his little head in there, dude? Can you see his little head?
Awesome.
Little head right in there. Yeah. That's it, dude.
What's cool about that figure is that was from WrestleMania this year, and I don't by the time that figure came out, wasn't he already done?
Yeah, he was already done. It's got a little ding in there, but whatever.
He's got a little what?
It's got a little ding in it, but that's all right, man. No, RJ think that's awesome, Mike. Chaos Theory, Ringside Rant.
Do you know what I did the other day? So, for people who don't know, Mike Farrell is actually he's a halfway decent rapper. He's pretty good. He's okay, and he put out a rap for the full press coverage theme song, and it was all right. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. I was sort of surprised it wasn't that bad.
No, there is still an opportunity for this rap battle to go down because JP is going to get his ass whooped.
So I went and challenged Mike Farrell to a rap battle. I'm going to give Mike Farrell credit. He's going to have a better flow than me. He's going to have better rhythm than me. I'm going to have better bars than him.
Better what?
A rap battle. Better bars. He'll know what a bar is.
Okay,
and
I just wanted to make sure.
I'm going to outbar Mike Farrell in a rap battle.
What's on the line here? This isn't just for fucking whatever. There's got to be something. There's a fig has to go on the line. That's what this is about. This is about a fig.
I don't know. We'll figure.
We have to figure this out.
And
we got to
need
figure
an
this out,
impartial
Mike.
judge. Like the judge can't be. The judge has to be somebody impartial.
Like who?
So,
I don't know any impartial
I don't
people.
know. I'd say you because you should vote for me, but you would probably vote for Mike no matter what.
I already sent the message out that you already challenged me to a rap battle even before you heard it, and I was behind Mike 100% all the way. So that's on record in writing.
I don't know. I think we got to find somebody impartial to judge, and I'll work on that.
Okay. I think I have a couple ideas. Let's I'm sorry there's not as many people on the wheel this week. I don't care. I was more I'm sorry if this is going to be a little bit longer podcast, but I'm just going to tell you right now, man. I am so jacked for people to see what he's going to do with what he told us is that he wants to be the next the male Vampiro. Like he wants to be that dude, that guy that is just the rockabilly cool dude everywhere around. He's Vampiro. I think that's rebranding that way is absolutely the fucking coolest thing you could possibly do.
You see me, guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm actually shuffling this right now. So yeah, it's
if Nick Haddix wins again, it's going to be hilarious. Just going to put that on record right now.
He's on there.
Hey, by the way, Mike Farrell and Chaos Theory, man, we're always here for anybody, and we appreciate you. And man, I'm so happy for. Man. Like people don't know, like when we're talking about this music, it's gone places. It's hit ears, so it's going to be cool.
Yes, yeah, Mike. I'm gonna all joking aside. I will rap battle Mike Farrell, and I will have better bars than him in the rap battle.
You won't.
But his song was insane.
Give me some of your current fucking
because he
material. Then
ready for this. I have no current material. It's gonna.
He doesn't need. He literally wrote this. He wrote this in 30 seconds. Recorded it in 45. and produced it in 10.
I'm going off the top of my head for this shit. Like, I ain't writing nothing. Ready? All right, here we go.
Oh, I thought you were going to rap. You're just going to spin the wheel? Fuck, I thought you were going to rap. Spin the wheel. You should have rapped. Spit some bars, you spitter.
I just said I don't know why
Spitter. I can't see. Who is it?
It's the broadcaster.
No way.
You gotta ship
No way.
You gotta ship a figure to Australia.
How long do you think it's going to take, and how much do you think it's going to cost?
It's gonna be. I think it was about $12 or $15 because they won before. I shipped one down to them.
What's illegal that we can't ship from the United States to Australia? That's common that that if you thought that you weren't going to get in trouble doing it. Do you know?
I don't know.
We should find out and throw it in there with it.
So yeah, Mike, I don't know. Mike, I think we need like a special little podcast to go, so it's completely impartial. There's no home field advantage.
I think this is a great opportunity for 80 Proof Pod to have a segment
Of me and Mike Battle? No.
Yes, weekly.
Those two are going to tear me apart no matter what I say. I'm going to come up with the best bar in the world, and those two are going to shit on me because it's what they do.
It would be great for me to listen to on my walk on a weekly basis. I think we should do it.
Mike Vampiro, the judge. You know what? Like I don't know if he's a rap fan. I know he hangs with he's hanging out with the guys in Biohazard, and they have a song with House of Pain. So who knows?
I just know the way from what I know, and this is the last comment I'm going to make, and we need to get the fuck out of here and go enjoy our Friday nights. But
yes.
The stuff in Mexico is big. Like, it's going to be really cool. And this is bigger than pro wrestling. And I think that's what I'm most excited about is we get to come along for the ride. Like, we get to be part of this. And it's just because of networking and doing what we do. And that's just being cool motherfuckers.
And this will go up. They're going to want to kill us on fucking FPC, but this will go up on, because it's so long.
So?
But this will go up on full press coverage tomorrow. It'll go up everywhere else tonight. WNS will be up probably Monday, Tuesday. So you guys, thank you. We appreciate every one of you. Bobby D, Mike, Timber. Like, you guys
Thanks,
show
Timber,
us so
babe.
much support. RJ.
Mike.
Everybody. It just means a ton to us.
Paranormal Circle hanging out here tonight. Pete was in here for a little bit tonight. Our brother Joe was hanging out. Elvis was here for a little while. Mad Dog hung out.
Yeah, man.
Cool. It's cool to see
awesome
people.
To see the same names like every week.
Yeah.
Like, you guys take time out of your Friday night for us.
I try to do
out hunting.
Yeah, and Julian Lewis, the kid, like he does a really cool. Like I try to watch my mouth a little bit better, but he probably hears worse when he's playing Xbox or PlayStation. So
yeah.
So I don't feel so bad.
I hope your dude Xando wins again next week. He hasn't retweeted it in a while, though. I'm going to message him and tell him to message you and find out why he hasn't retweeted it.
Follow us at 3 Irish Boys with a Z. That's the number 3 Irish Boys with a Z. JP, are we done?
We're done, man. Guys, have a great night. Have a good week. See you next Friday.